game live on YouTube. So awesome. So first and foremost, guys, happy Friday. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about why agents are we're not making as much in commission as a total group as we used to. And there's some reasons for that. There's some opportunities to change the consumer perspective to kind of get back in alignment with where we need to be. So we're going to talk for just a few minutes. What's up, Angelina? Hello to all of you on YouTube. We're going to talk for just a couple of minutes today, not too long, about how to up your commission game. First and foremost, there's a lot of discussion, a lot of dialogue surrounding this idea that agents are worth less now, right? There's flat fee brokerages that we're competing against, and just the world of real estate is just constantly changing, and we got to pay attention to that. But as the world evolves, as consumer behavior changes, as the demand that consumers have on what we provide to them changes, right? We have to listen and we have to adapt. And it doesn't mean that our level of service changes, but the way that maybe we go about our messaging, the way that we set expectations, the way that we do certain things kind of, it gets switched up a little bit. What's up, Terry? What's up, Mark? So one thing that I think agents are doing incorrectly right now, and I'm making this comment based on an observation I see across lots of different social media platforms, lots of different groups, lots of conversations surrounding commission, but more importantly, surrounding how agents can reduce their risk. Hey guys, how do you put language into a contract that says if the house doesn't sell, the seller still has to pay me back for photos, for staging, for any cleaning that I did, for all that kind of stuff, right? They still owe me something. I gotta be able to recoup my costs. Guys, look, here's the deal. And whether you like this or not, it's the unfriendly truth that, quite frankly, you need to hear. And because I care about you, I'm going to tell you straight up. What's up, Eric? I'm going to tell you straight up. Here's the deal. You absolutely, unequivocally, without question, will make more money if you take more risk. You'll notice that companies like Purple Bricks, not really around in the US, right? And it's because the consumer had no issue like saving a few bucks. What's up, Amir? They had no issue saving a few bucks. The problem was they had an issue with the lack of value that was added because they didn't have enough skin in the game. So whether it's Purple Bricks or any other flat fee broker, right? Any flat fee broker that gets paid up front, they're not taking a lot of risk. And what you see is what you get, and then you pay up front, and then whatever, right? The problem with a model like that is the seller looks at it and says, well, I don't want to pay you as much because you're not doing as much, right? You might be full service, but you don't feel like full service. So when you as an agent sit there and start thinking to yourself about like, hey, you know what? I'd like to make a whole bunch of money on this, whatever your commission is that you go for. I'm not here to talk about specific percentages, but you pick what you think you're worth. And if you think you're worth that, but then you say, oh, I want you to pay top dollar for my services, but if I don't perform, you've got to reimburse me all my expenses. You did it wrong. You totally did it wrong. That's not how this works. There's a cliched statement, right? High risk, high reward. Guys, the reason real estate agents have the potential to make as much money as we do, the reason real estate agents can be multi-six figure in like a minute, the reason you can sell millions of dollars a day in this business if you're like the most elite of elite in the real estate biz, right? The reason that you can make so much money in this business is because you have a very high risk position. And if you're not taking risk, if you are not taking the opportunity to put it out there on the line, then you're not going to win at the level that you're most capable of. Now, I also want you to understand something. If you're a newer agent or you're working on a limited budget and you're like, you know what, I've got to reduce some of my risk on this because I just can't afford to lose the capital. Hey, there's no judgment from me. All I'm saying is if you want to reap the extra reward, wow, I haven't even started drinking yet. If you want to reap the extra reward, then you have to be willing to put the skin in the game. Let me give you guys a real life example. I had been working with I was working with a luxury listing. Okay, I did not end up getting this listing, but it was a listing that I had interviewed for on multiple occasions as agents failed, and no agent was actually able to sell the property. I was the only one that told them that they were going to get way less than all these other agents, and they went with the pipe dream high price, like about $4 million is what they're trying to get. And long story short, all these guys promised a real tall price, and the property was on the market for like 2 years, and then whatever, they're going through like REO now. It's a terrible situation. I feel really bad, but then take my advice and whatever. Who knows? Maybe I couldn't have sold it either. I guess we'll never know. It was a blessing in disguise I didn't get it, because it was a money pit for me, right? What's up, Diane? But here's the way it works. I told them, I said, listen, you guys have to make some repairs on the property. There's like no question about it. There's a 7,000 square foot home. It was a 5,000 square foot, 5,500 square foot main house with a 1,500 square foot guest house, 11 total garage spaces, plus RV parking, plus its own equestrian, had a huge pool, California room, outdoor kitchen, barbecue. I mean, it's insane. The place is unbelievable. Excuse me. But it was unbelievable when they bought it. Needed some repairs, needed some fixing up. Mina, what's up, you? So it needed some repairs, needed some fixing up, needed some staging, needed some painting, needed some work to be done. And I told him, I said, listen, if you guys want to fetch the price, there's nothing like walking into a house and smelling the paint, smelling the fresh carpet that was just put in, right? It's like you love going into the car wash and like that the smell of the soap when it comes through the air vents, right? Like there's something nice about it. I don't know. I'm weird. But my point is they had to put some lipstick on this thing, and they needed to make some fixes and repairs that were very real. But they also needed to get some of their older furniture out, some of their older things. And it's not because their stuff was junk. It was an opportunity to get some of their personal out and bring in like the fresh and clean that the consumer is expecting to see now, right? And so I told them, I said, look, staging on this is going to probably cost about $20,000. So I'm willing to do a couple of things for you. I will, A, help you with the staging cost, if you would like, in the form of a concession, right? A concession of my commissions at the close of escrow. Okay, so I'll eat some of that, but you got to front load the cost. I will pay it back to you at close of escrow, okay, as a concession. If, however, you want me to front load the cost and you want me to pay the $20,000, I want to make an extra point, or an extra, you pick. But in my case, I want to make an extra point on this and get my money back. I want to double my money, right? And guys, if you think about the logic, behind it, it makes perfect sense, right? Because the position I don't want to wind up in is being in a spot where I've put it all out and I don't reap the reward. I have the low risk option where the seller fronts the bill and I assist with a portion of it through close of escrow and a commission reduction to go towards their stuff, right? Thank you, Mina. But if I'm going to front load everything and I'm going to take more risk, then guess what? I'm worth more, because now I'm putting my money where my mouth is and I'm providing something that they have zero liability on. So when you guys go in there and you're talking about commissions and you're talking about your worth and you're talking about your value, I know we have this tendency to do the whole, like, what's up, Becky? We have this tendency to do the whole, like, well, if you take 3 pennies and then this penny over here goes to the government and then this penny over here goes to my broker and then this penny is left for me, but I got to pay marketing out of this penny. So there's like 3 more pennies in there and then I got to pay, like all this crap, right? So I get it. Hey, John Alisi, what's up, bro? So when you're talking about your commission and you're talking about like, oh, divide up all the pennies, we're sending the message incorrectly, because what we're doing is we're saying, hey, it's all about me. We can still give the message, right? But we want to adjust it a little bit. We want to just adjust the delivery just a tiny little bit. And here's the way we do that. We say, look, I am part of the reason I'm worth it is because you're not going to lift a finger. Okay. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. I do an opt out clause on 100% of my listing agreements. So in 30 days, you can fire me like for any reason at all. And you can literally cancel. It's not like withdrawn and it's not on the market, but nobody else can list it. No, you can cancel me. Okay. So think about the amount of risk I'm willing to take. If it's going to cost me a few $1,000s just to invest in a listing and get it off the ground, but you can fire me in 30 days, think about how confident and risk I am in taking that risk, right? That says a lot. But what it also says, and what I also get to deliver to the client is, or the prospect or whomever I'm pitching to, is I say, hey, you may think that it's not worth, what's up, Jason? You may think that it's not worth X percent, but please understand, at the end of 30 days, you could fire me and I'm out $3,000. So if I'm going to take the high risk, I want high reward. If you don't want it, like otherwise I can do the whole like, oh, but if you fire me in 30 days, then you have to reimburse me for photography and videography and all the brochures and all the other good stuff. Okay, great. And if that's something they're willing to do, then there's less risk on me, which means I don't need to make as much and I don't deserve to make as much. When you take more risk, you deserve to get paid more. Why? Because the outcome is uncertain. And when you start adjusting your mindset and start realizing that you're not entitled to a high commission, you're not entitled to a high fee. Okay. If you choose to interview for the job, you pick what you think you're worth. You get to pick what you think you're worth and present that. The consumer votes with their signature on that page, right? A vote of confidence. And if they're confident enough in your ability, then they'll agree to what you say. But if you think because there's standards in this industry and people typically go for a certain commission percentage, and you think that you just stepped into that because you got a goddamn license, you got something else coming. You've got to bring the value into the game. You absolutely, unquestionably have to bring more value into the game. You want to get paid more? You got to take risks, people. The business is evolving. And I don't think it's necessarily changing for bad. What's up, Matt? I don't think it's necessarily changing for bad, but a lot of people talk about these discount brokers and the flat fees and all that stuff. Guys, you got to look deeper than what's on the surface. You've got to look at the terms. You've got to understand that it's flat fee, but it's flat fee, but limited. It's flat fee, but there's reimbursement. It's flat fee, but you pay up front. When you reduce risk, you reduce the risk for yourself, you're going to make less. That's okay because you're not risking losing a whole bunch of money. You're not risking there's not as much loss opportunity for you. So high risk, high reward. You want to make more money? Put more on the line and be willing and be able to back it up. You've got to be able to back up your service. You've got to be able to back up your messaging. You've got to be able to back up why you deserve what you're asking for, because shit does not come for free. It does not come for free. And just because you got your real estate license does not mean all of a sudden that you stepped into an expected amount of earnings that you should just be able to make because this is what realtors make. That's not true. You want to make more money? I can charge more on a listing. I'll make more than a selling agent will. And yes, by the way, for those of you, a listing agent and selling agent being the one who brought the buyer and sells the property, right? Listing agent who lists it. But I'm going to make more than the selling agent because I took more risk. I put money out up front to represent the listing, to get it off the ground. I put my skin in the game. What's the risk for the seller? The risk for the seller is that their home is listed with somebody who ultimately can't get the job done, and then they lose that time on market. But where do I reduce the risk for the seller and improve on my ability to get a higher percentage commission? I do a takeaway and I say, but you can fire me in 30 days. So if I suck, let me just give you an example. Like when I would compete against like a Purple Bricks, for example, is not around right now, but like when I would go compete against them or a flat fee, what's up, Deanna? When I would compete against that flat fee, here's what I tell them. Hey, the flat fee is going to charge you up front. So I'd be like, hey, Deanna, look, here's the deal. The flat fee is going to charge you up front. Okay. I'm not going to charge you unless I sell, but I don't want you to get stuck with me, right? I don't want you to get stuck with me. So it's better and cheaper for you to go with me. It's less risky. And here's why. Flat fee up front, you're stuck in that contract for 6 months. How do I know? Because I actually looked at the terms of my competitor, knowing who I was up against before I even walked through the door, right? You should know your competition anyway, but I knew what their terms were. Flat fee, low cost up front, but it's up front and they're stuck for 6 months. They want to extend after 6 months, then they got to pay again, right? So then what I do is I say, all right, but here's the deal, Deanna, and this is what I love about it. I go in and I say, here's why I'm less risky. Because you can hire me, it costs you $0 up front. And if I don't perform in 30 days and you lose all confidence in me, you can fire me. Would you like to know the number of listings that I've lost in 30 days because of that? 0. And I'm in year 7. So let's admit that I didn't do this practice until about a year and a half into my career. So what is that? 5.5 years, give or take. What's up, D? So 5.5 years, give or take. And I give the opt-out clause, fire me in 30 days if I don't perform. It's just the option. They don't have to. I'm signing a 6-month agreement, but they can opt out in 30 days. And all I ask is that they give me a 7-day written notice so I can take my marketing down, tie up any loose ends with people I was working on, and present the appropriate, what's up, Jason, and present the appropriate documentation for anybody that I already brought through the house. So if they do list with somebody else and one of the people that I brought to the property purchases it, I still get an agreed upon commission, right? That's like, hopefully y'all know some of that paperwork. But guys, you want to make more money, take more risk. You want to make more money, understand your value. You want to make more money, understand your value compared to the competition. I don't walk through the door and present that because I'm with Century 21 that I can sell your house better than somebody who's not with Century 21. I walk in the door and I tell people, just so you know, I'm with Century 21 because it's better for me. The brokerage I'm at has nothing to do with you. They can provide all the same cool shit that any other brokerage can. I'm at Century 21 because it's better for me. You're at KW because it's better for you. You're a Coldwell Banker because it's better for you. EXP because it's better for you. REMAX better for you. A boutique brokerage better for you. Whatever, doesn't matter. Pick your brokerage. You're at that brokerage not for your customer. You're at that brokerage for you. So what I tell people is, but here's the benefit. If the brokerage is better for me, then you win too, because it's better for me and I can operate better for you if I'm in a place that operates better for me. So now I can provide the great service, but I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass about the brokerage I'm at, because guess what? You're getting this guy. Yeah. The brokerage, I can do all the same stuff everybody else can do. My value doesn't come in the automated stuff that any broker or any syndication that happens, any broker provides, or any syndication that happens when I click go on the MLS. The benefit you get is the manual work that I do behind the scenes after we list and get going. It's the phone calls I make. It's the outgoing messages that go out, like the hand delivered stuff. It's the brochures that are going out to specific agents and specific properties that are likely to move into yours. Excuse me. It's the manual stuff that I deploy that makes me better. Oh, and by the way, I'll put more skin in the game, because if you don't like what I'm doing in the first month, you can fire me. And what's awesome about that, guys, is you know what that really does? It holds me accountable. You know what it holds me accountable to? It holds me accountable. What's up, Beth? It holds me accountable to showing up. It means that every single thing I said I would do, I actually have to do. Because if I don't, guess what? I lose my job. I lose my job. Agents do more job interviews than almost any other industry on the face of the earth. Why? Because you are constantly interviewing for jobs with new prospects. You are interviewing for that position. So I don't want to get fired from my job, which means I got to do what I said. It's the same reason, by the way, if you guys ever hear me talk about open houses, why I don't do a sign-in book at open houses. If someone will sign into my open house book, they'll sign into anybody's. Okay? And I don't even know if it's real information. But if I hold myself accountable to a higher standard and I have real conversation with someone, add real value to them, and then at the end of that open house, when I say, hey, I'd love to keep in touch with you, and my gosh, like, seems like you guys have been poking around for a bit. Maybe I could, sucker you into a deal somewhere. Mind if I shoot you a text message real quick? Just so you have my info? Oh, sure. Oh, James, why didn't you give them a business card? I'll tell you why, because I don't have to. Now I can make sure they give me the real number, because I'm going to text them right now. If I don't hear the ding, they lied to me. right? So like, but the point is you start that communication, but you know what? Not having the sign-in book has held me accountable to higher level of conversation, because when you force somebody to sign in, that's not really special. When they sign in because they're like, damn, this guy was like on his shit, that's when you know you've made an impact, because you've been held accountable to that information. Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to tell Aaron I was right today. So the end message, what's the end message here? Because there's some tacos at a restaurant in that direction that I want to go eat. But here's the deal. Here's the end message, and I want all of you to pay attention. High risk, high reward. Real agents work. You have to be one of them. You have to be one of them. Guys, the reality is, if you want the prize, you've got to be the best. You've got to be the fastest. You eat what you kill in this business. That means you better be hunting with a better rifle. That's all there is to it. So, guys, listen, pay attention for one more second. When you're out there this weekend, when you're doing your open houses, when you're showing clients, when you're playing the game, you think about whose journey you care more about. We're all in this to make money. I haven't met anybody that goes to work in the morning because they're like, there's nothing else to do. No, everyone's going to work in the morning to make money. I get it. We're all going to work in the morning to make money. But you will make more money when you care about your client's best interest before your own. And if you don't believe me, let me tell you something else. Not only does my real estate business function that way, but so does ReRaw. I've given more away for free. Think about this. I've given more away for free so that I can present to you who I am, how I teach, what my messaging is, right? I give more away for free, and it all comes back twofold, threefold. Guys, it does. And I don't care if you're like you believe in the spirits of the universe or God or Mother Nature or nothing at all. The reality is what you put out, you get back, whether you believe it or not. If you don't believe it, it's because you haven't tried it and you haven't experienced it. I haven't just built my real estate business on this. I've literally built my relationships with all of you right here. All of you right here. D. Yeah, look at that. She says truth. D knows. D and I have been talking, right? D knows. We've got an arrangement and understanding, right? She knows that I'm giving to D and she's giving back, right? And D gives to me and I'm giving back. Like, I feed off of that energy. Michelle's like, whoa, I'm in. Awesome. I want to do more than you do. Now Michelle's like, no, I'm giving more to you than you're going to give to me. No, it's like, then it becomes a race between like who can give more to the other person. Care more about your client's journey than your own. If you protect your client's best interest first, then everybody wins in the end. Everybody wins in the end. And guess what? When somebody wins, they talk about it. When's the last time you heard someone talk about their loss? I'll talk about loss because I actually learn a lot more from the losses than the wins. But when's the last time you heard someone like, hey, we want to welcome a special guest to the news today. This is a gentleman who did not win the lottery. So how does it feel to not win $500 million? Great. Well, tomorrow we'll have another special guest who also did not win the lottery. That's not fun. Who do they bring in? They bring in the people who did what? Who won, right? Hey, we brought in this family who just won $500 million in the lottery. We want to talk to them so that they can share what? Their win. So when you help people win, they will share the fact that you helped them win, because why? Everybody likes to talk about the wins. So understand the psychology behind it, play the game, add more value to your conversations out there, guys, and have the best fucking weekend ever. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I hope it's been a great week. And guys, if you're getting a little down on yourself, you're feeling a little stuck or things just aren't working perfectly, it's all good. Take a deep breath, spend a few moments to yourself. It's not serving anybody, including you, to work yourself till you're like dead inside. Spend a little time for you, recharge, refresh, get back out there. You're healthy for you, you can be healthy for your clients. All right. On a final note, and I'm sorry I keep rambling, but I'm really proud of myself. I want to share one last thing with you. About 2 months ago, I decided to make some changes to get back into a better healthy mindset for myself. Uh, I have decided to like reignite my fitness. I used to be a high performing athlete in high school and college, and experienced some injuries. I allowed those injuries to become an excuse. And to be really honest with you, mindset is fueled by self image, is fueled by and confidence is fueled by self image and by your mindset. And I made some decisions. Hey, thanks, Jason. You're very welcome. I appreciate you. I made some decisions to go ahead and pony up. So for those of you who are like, damn, I would love to get into it. I would love to get into fitness, but I can't afford a gym membership. I'd love to lose some weight, but I don't know what to do. I want to share with you what I'm doing. All right. I decided to stop eating like an asshole. Okay. Decided to stop eating like an asshole. And I decided to start walking every day. So in the last 6 weeks, I'm down about 12 and a half pounds. I'm getting back to where I want to be. I've already got more energy. I'm already feeling great. For those of you who are like, oh my gosh, James talks about drinking all the time. I'm drinking at a maximum of like once per week. Maximum. I haven't had a drink in like a week and a half, other than like water. Haven't been drinking soda. My point, I've decided to make some healthier life decisions, right? And I've been doing it. It's not like I've never done this before. I got away from it. What's up, Adrian? I got away from it for a little while because, I found an excuse. I got stressed at work, and then I let the stresses get to me. And then like, it was all like, ah, shit, like I don't have time for stuff. No, I decided to make time for me. So, thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that. So I decided to make time for me. And the weight loss is great, but the weight loss is really just a result of a decision. And the decision was I gotta get back up here, something that I was missing, right? And so for me, I just made a decision that it was time. It was time. I had to let go of this stuff, right? It was very easy to be like, well, I don't have a gym membership anymore. All right, well, fuck that. There's no reason for that. And let me tell you the biggest reward. Okay. The biggest reward is not the weight loss. It's not. You know what the biggest reward is? My wife likes to come on the walks with me. My best friend. So you know what that means? I get to spend extra time with someone that I love. And along the way, I reap some health benefits from it too. But I reap the health benefits both physically, mentally, and emotionally because I get to have real conversation. I get to enjoy some intimate time with her. So we put the kids to bed. Don't worry, we get a sitter. We just go around the block or whatever. But put the kids to bed and we go for a walk, right? That's the kind of stuff that matters. If you think that you're in an unhealthy place with your mindset, an unhealthy place with your fitness or your overall health or your self-image, start making the change. And I promise you, everything changes. Samuel, what's going on? Everything can change for the better. The most important thing you understand in this journey, my friends, is that you are not alone. Everybody experienced their first day in real estate. We've all lost deals. We've all fucked up. We've all had to pick ourselves up after the shitty ones. But stop allowing those to be excuses. Let go and move on. Have a great weekend. Remember something. Real agents work. You, all of you. Just be one of them. We'll talk to you soon.